everybody, welcome back to another episode of a very special podcast. This is the podcast which talk about all of your favorite TV series from yesteryear. And in case this is your first time here, I'm your boy, Patrick M. Dunn, and I'm joined here, as always, by my giggling co-star, Cat Hall said the author. What got you tickled pink today?
It's just the way you said hey. It was not like a normal Patrick hey. It just sounded so very different, and I just started giggling.
I'm trying new openings. I listened to some old ones, and I'm just like way too excited, way too like. I sound like I'm on coke. Like I've never done coke, but I sound like I'm on coke in like a lot of episodes. So I'm trying to have something more reserved. And I think we got a few comments, mostly from Cat Hall said the author, listening to older episodes, and we're like, "You were so more calm then, calm."
Yeah, you were like way more chill, and then there's like at some point you went like all hyper, like over personality guy, and I'm like, "What are you doing?"
You know what? I listened to a bunch because I was trying to pinpoint it. I think it was when I started working overnights, and then we would record before I went to bed, so I just had this pre-bed excitement. Like I was like shot out of a cannon in a lot of these episodes.
There are times like when I have to go on the phones at work, and I'm very when I do my intros because do you want to talk to somebody? Says like, "Hi, my name is Catherine. I'm calling from Butterscotch Research."
Oh, it's Butterscotch Research.
I don't know. It was like the first thing that came to my mind. Or would you rather, "Hi, my name is Catherine. I'm calling from Butterscotch Research." Like which would you rather talk to?
Neither, because I don't like talking on the phone. So
I have been told I'm too perky. I've been told I'm perky, a little too perky. And I did have one woman once go, "How much caffeine have you had? What drugs are you on?" Click.
You know what? Are you sure that's not a comment on the AVSP like iTunes review board? Talking about
I'm pretty sure. I don't know.
From the Blossom episode that we did like 2 years ago, maybe. Who knows? All right. Enough of the past. We're moving forward. We got exciting things to talk about today because we're going to a world where the blank pages are staring. I can't remember how the song goes. How does it go?
No, I don't. I just know that they're unwritten.
Yeah, the best is yet to be unwritten, right? Is that what it is?
You're the one who's watched this show before.
That is true. You know what? I'm surprised out of everything in television history that you never, ever watched the show. But you watched the show, like, it was spun off from...
I watched the original show.
Laguna Beach. A great show, too. Love it. We'll have to dip into it. Maybe we'll just do, like, a hot, like... month of just this world.
I'm over it already. I was over it like 15 minutes into this episode.
Do you know what I always sit around like? All right, we're doing the hills, but before we get to the hills, do you know what I always like? I'm just like sometimes I'm just laying in bed, and I'm like, I wonder what Steven from the Hills looks like today. Like, do you ever like have these thoughts?
I haven't seen him in anything recently.
No, like so, like you Google it, and then it's not what you expected. It's always like you're always like thrown for a loop. Like I always do that with like old Real World cast members too. I'm like, I wonder what I was gonna say Ruthie, but I know what she looks like now. Like some of like the Real World Las Vegas people. Like is there a Steven? I feel like there's a Steven on that show too. I'm like, I wonder what Steven from that show looks like. Maybe what Alton? What does he look like? I just like have these thoughts in my head. I'm like, is he still ripped? And he is. I looked it up.
It's like when you first watch the new season of The Real World, Homecoming, or whatever it's called on Paramount Plus, and you're just like, hold up. Like, one, holy shit, Heather looks freaking glamorous and amazing.
She does. Glow up.
Yeah.
Glow up.
Yeah. Two, Becky looks like upper class white lady about to go pick up her kids.
Yeah, Becky's boring
Probably drives an Escalade.
Fuck Becky.
Andre comes in looking fucking amazing. Like, clean, put together, like, got some style, like, holy crap. I was like, dude, what happened to my grunge boy? Like, holy crap.
I mean, the times have changed.
And then you see Eric, and Eric's like Mr. Hippie New Age guy on his video call.
You know what?
And Norman and Julie pretty much dressed the same, except like 20 years older.
That is true. All right, so here's my thing about Eric Nice on the New Real World. He shows up via, like, satellite. He said he has COVID. I really feel like he just, like, did not want to do this and was like, all right, I'll agree to, like, 2 hours a day. And he just, like, went somewhere and they just, like, filmed him. But they go to his hotel, so he obviously was there. So, I don't know. That's my theory. Does he still have abs? I don't think we saw him shirtless, so does he still have abs?
I don't think we did. At least not what I've watched.
Yeah. I you know what? I only watched the first episode and I was like, not impressed. I was actually kind of bored. I was like, you know what? I wanted some fights. I wanted them to just, I don't know, throw someone out a window.
I think if I I just haven't had time to sit down and watch the rest of it.
Yeah, maybe one day.
I'm pretty sure Kevin and Becky get into it again about her white privilege.
Yeah, I think it is. You seem like that. But you know what? If they came out with Los Angeles and San Francisco homecomings, I would 100% be down with it. Because, like, those were, like, the ones I connected with more than the original one. Not going to lie. NGL. They were, like, more me, I feel like. Especially Los Angeles. Los Angeles was just lit, as the kids say today. Lit.
See, San Francisco is like my jam.
San Francisco's good too. It's great. And you know what? Fuck it. Like, even like Miami's good.
We just don't talk about London. London was boring. Except for the time Neil got his tongue bit off.
That is true. That was like a highlight. You know what? I think that was like what I waited for because I feel like you saw it in the clip. So like, come in this season on The Real World. And I was like, tell me more.
Yeah, it's like the clip and then it's like 4 episodes later. Neil gets his tongue bit off.
Shout out to some of our favorite cast members of the years. Irene, we love you. Ruthie, always stan you. Tech Money, why not? We like you. Genesis, I like your name. Cyrus, you're cool. The only names I can think of right now. All right, we're sort of on topic because we're on the network, right? We're on the same network. Yeah, we're building up to this world.
I mean, without the Real World...
Alright, I'm trying to think of the genesis of it all. So, like, the Real World was kind of like the floorboards. Then we got, like, Road Rules kind of continued the premise, but, like, on the road.
Oh, we had the sorority and fraternity show.
Oh, yeah, sorority life and fraternity life. Totes forgot about that.
I was just fascinated, though, because I went to a college that didn't have a Greek system. So, like... We were like, oh my god, we don't understand this world. We want to know more.
Neither did I. So, like, I was just like, I wish I could have been a part of that world, but I wasn't. And then, what was that show that was on late at night? It was kind of like a soap opera, but it just, like...
Undressed?
Undressed, yes. So, like, I feel like there's elements of Undressed in the Hills, too. Because it kind of brings in the scripted element to it.
Undressed was a scripted show. It was 100% scripted. But it had, like, if you go through, like, the IMDb page of that, you're going to be like, holy crap. There's a lot of, like, names on this that you'll recognize.
Exactly. Nick Stabile from Sunset Beach was in an episode, or a few, however they do it.
Yeah, usually they'd be, like, in a few episodes. They might, like, every once in a while there might be a character who's, like, a side character in this story 1 week, and, like, 4 weeks later they're the main character in another.
You know what? I really love that premise. I wish they would still do shows like that today. I would love, like, you know what, like, have a show with a cast with, like, 50 people in the season, and then you just kind of, like, intersperse the stories in between. Like, you have crossover with characters. Some characters are prominent in the beginning, and you see all their cohorts, and then maybe they all come together at the end. I don't know. Let's do something like that, world.
Yeah.
Let's make it happen. Press and Prep 2021. We're gonna revive it.
Yes, that's exactly what it is.
We might be in talks with a network right now to get it back.
Like,
maybe we're not, but we can pretend. We can pretend. All right. So then we got well, I think the OC, the TV show, came out first, and it kind of like took the country by storm. People like wanted to know more about Orange County. And then MTV was like, hey, let's go to Orange County and do Laguna Beach, the real OC.
Yeah.
People dug it. People were super into it. It had like a fun crew of people. We got to meet Kristen Cavallari, Lauren Conrad,
Stephen
Coletti, everybody else.
Those are the only 3 that matter.
Yeah, it was on for what, like 3 seasons maybe? Maybe 4?
Yeah, it had like 3 seasons. So like the first 2 seasons, it revolves kind of around this triangle. Kristen, Steven, and LC, as Lauren was called back then.
Which I still call her, by the way. I still call her LC.
Yeah, I still do too. Like, I was calling her that in text the other day.
I mean, it's easy to write LC than Lauren or Lauren Conrad.
But it was like a triangle that wasn't really a triangle.
I like they were forcing it on us, kind of.
It was very set up. They're like, okay, Steven, you're going to have to go have this conversation with Kristen now. Can we, like, just, like, edit this? Like, why are we dragging this out?
Just people ate it up. People loved it. And MTV was like, hey, let's deepen this world. Let's go further. So they grabbed a few people from the show. Elsie and Heidi. Was Heidi in Laguna Beach?
No, Heidi? No.
Okay.
I was trying to figure out where the hell Heidi came from, okay?
Where did she come from?
She's fucking Colorado.
Oh, is she like your neighbor?
No.
There must be like a lost season of Laguna Beach where Elsie and like Heidi bump into each other at a club somewhere, and maybe they like get in trouble, like maybe they get like kicked out, thrown out of a club, and they kind of like laugh and joke about it at like an In-N-Out or something one night.
They went to the Fashion Institute in San Francisco together. Because remember, season 2 of Laguna Beach, Lauren had left for college and came back.
Oh, okay.
Like after a semester. And they were like, why is this bitch back? Like, really? You failed at college?
The Fashion Institute of Design and Merchandise is really
That was the different school. That's a different school. That's when she and Heidi, like,
I'm sorry.
transferred to. They both, like, dropped out of.
I don't know. Who knows? Well, anyway, you know what? Elsie needed a new beginning. She's like, I want to start over somewhere new. I'm just tired of this Kristen and Steven drama and the other people in this shitty town of Laguna Beach. You know what? We had to hang out with fucking... You know, I just like to believe that this took place in, like, the same world as the actual TV series, The OC. So, like, you know, they bumped into, like, Marissa Cooper here and there. And she's like, I just gotta get out of town. You know what? Fucking this guy, Ryan, just keeps trying to hit me up. I can't stand him. And his, like, nerdy friend, Seth.
Isn't Misha Barton on The New Hills, though? So that kind of, like...
ties in, yeah. Ooh. Conspiracy corner. And she's just like, this guy just randomly runs into a party every now and then and just yells Rooney. Just gotta get out of here. Just gotta get out of town. I don't know, like where else is a girl from Laguna Beach gonna go? Like where she will feel like she's at home? Los Angeles, am I right?
Apparently.
Like you don't just go from Laguna Beach to like New York City. That's a big leap. That's a big fish out of the water leap.
No.
You gotta go somewhere where like you can speak the same language, wear the same shitty 2006 clothes.
Oh my gosh.
I don't know. Talk on your flip phones. So LA is it. And like not just like anywhere in LA, but like a great neighborhood. In LA.
Yeah, like they ended
beautiful hillside villa
in an apartment complex that's across the street from the Grove that was, like, marketed towards, like, young people coming to Hollywood to, like, make it.
This is everybody in the world in 2006 when the show premiered. I'm surprised. I completely forgot the show came in 2006. I thought this was, like, 2002. So, like, it just blows my mind that's even later.
We're not that old.
Everyone that's, like, the same age as Elsie... 19 years old, I think she is in the pilot.
Yeah, she's 19. Whitney was 20.
Yeah. They are just like, they're somewhere. I don't know. They're in Albuquerque. They're in Little Rock. They're in Tuscaloosa. They might be in Nashville. Anywhere in the country. And they just see this young woman, very beautiful, very attractive, wearing the hottest trends of 2006. Mm-hmm. Which are horrible looking by today's standards.
Yes.
And they're like, you know what? If she can go there and make it, I can go there and make it. But lest they know, lest they know that she was previously on another TV series and has like the full back and support of MTV and the show scripted. So it's not like you can just roll into town.
She didn't just roll into town. Even though that's totally what the intro makes it look like, as she just tosses everything into her suitcases and drags it out to her little convertible.
Yeah, she's like, get the cool voiceover. It's like, new go to a new city. I got no friends, new beginnings. Oh, it's going to be great. And then she just like strolls into like the most beautiful apartment complex I have ever seen in my life.
Yeah.
Like ever. This is like millionaires live here. I don't know, like Colin Farrell probably had like a fuck pad here.
Probably.
This is like where he goes to like bang chicks on the DL.
A couple things we need to remember is that, one, Elsie comes from money.
Yes, that is true. She's like a Julie Cooper daughter sort of type.
I'm gonna guess that Heidi also comes from money.
Oh, for sure. For sure. She probably lives in like the next town over from Laguna Beach.
So, like, here's the thing. Both these girls come from money. So, no matter what, even if they didn't have, like, the MTV cameras, they were gonna have a fucking nice apartment.
That is true. They weren't gonna live in this, like, shitty apartment that fucking Soleil Moonfry moved to in New York City in like 1992 during the Kid 90s.
Yeah, she's not gonna like live in the kind of apartments I've lived in.
yeah, with like no bed frame, like a mattress on the floor. You're only friends with the cast from the movie Kids, who have no money. That movie didn't make any money.
No, it didn't, because nobody could see it.
Yeah, it was NC-17. Like, no adult is going to go see that movie. Like, I only wanted to see it because I was 13, and I was like, oh my god, it's about kids on skateboards and sex?
Yeah.
And I couldn't even go fucking see it.
Yeah.
I had to wait till it was on, like, Cinemax, like, 1 in the morning when I was, like, 15. And it was a horrible movie. It was a horrible fucking movie, by the way.
So, yeah. So, either, like, these girls are going to have, like, a nice apartment. Okay, this is the way I see it. They're going to have a nice apartment. They probably have a cleaning lady who comes in at least once a week.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Laundry service. Like, these are not girls who are going to actually be, like, doing any of this shit themselves. They probably have, like, a meal service, like, dropping off their food. Their moms are like, okay, so you can stay on, like, whatever the hot fat diet is this month. I've signed you up for this service. It's going to deliver your meals for when you're not out at Geisha House.
I feel like, was this, like, the Atkins era?
This is towards the end of the Atkins era.
I'm trying to think about what was, like, the exercise craze. Like, we're past, like, Tybo, right? Like, Tybo is, like, done at this point.
Tybo has just ended as, like, craze. We're definitely getting into the yoga.
Like, Pilates. Like, it's pre-Zumba, though, right? Like, Zumba hasn't hit yet.
Yeah, Zumba hasn't hit.
Yeah, like, we're gearing up. We're gearing up for Zumba. And, like, the pool, when Elsie walks into the courtyard and Heidi's just like sitting down reading Teen Vogue on a fucking lawn chair, and I just got that long shot of that clean pool, the cleanest pool I've ever seen ever.
Yeah.
I was like, oh my god, it's better than the Melrose Place pool. Like, the Melrose Place pool is fucking dirt compared to this thing.
Oh my god, this complex makes the Melrose Place complex look like a dollhouse.
Like, I just wanted to fucking just take a wade through that pool. The water looked really warm. It looked so welcoming.
Yeah. Okay, I love how Lauren shows up, and Heidi's just chilling out at the pool, and Lauren knows to find her, because, it's all set up. Oh, this will be a great, way for you to find her, before she, even brings her stuff up to the apartment. And Heidi's done jack shit in the apartment. Yeah,
we get this, fun line where, I guess, Heidi got there earlier in the day, and she's like, oh, you must have, all your stuff set up now. And she's like, oh, no, I'm just wanted to come out here and get some sun. Figured we could do it together. It'd be a bonding experience.
Yeah.
Elsie's like, all right, okay, yeah, whatever. I don't care. So they go upstairs, and they're, talking about she's supposed to have, a job interview with Teen Vogue at 5 p.m. I don't know what time of day it is. I'm guessing it's, noon.
Yeah, I don't know.
What I'm thinking.
It's gotta be, middle of the day. Okay, so I looked it up. The drive time from Laguna Beach to LA is about an hour. So probably like about 2 hours, really.
So she probably left. She probably left Laguna Beach. Are you saying like around 10 a.m. in the morning?
Yeah, say around 10 a.m. So it's like probably about noon. It's probably about 1 o'clock by the time they're in the apartment with that maroon red wall
That they all love.
that they love. And I was
horrible.
like cringy.
You know what? The inside of the apartment didn't match like my expectations based on the outside. I'm just gonna throw that out there.
It has the cool spiral staircase. I mean, it's not decorated. I hope they do something with it. But there's like furniture there. So again, they come from money. They're not like living on a shitty futon they picked up at IKEA or Walmart, you know?
Like a hand-me-down.
Like, and if it is hand-me-down furniture, it's like nice hand-me-down furniture.
Yeah, this is the, like they had the futon that was, not the futon, they had the couch. They had like the 3-seater couch that was in like the old guest, like apartment in Elsie's.
Yeah, like the old guest house or something.
Yeah, the in-law apartment over. So this is the part that blows my whole mind of the episode. So we get this like whole scene. All right, so like we learn through some nice exposition that Lauren has a job interview or an internship interview with Teen Vogue.
Yeah.
And it's supposed to be at 5 o'clock. And she's like talking about like, I have plenty of time, like, because, you know, I just got here. I don't know what I'm going to wear yet. I got to go through my suitcase. You know me, I need an hour to do my hair and makeup and all that stuff. And then like her fucking like Nokia flip phone or whatever the flip phone, Motorola flip phone rings.
Mm-hmm.
And it's somebody at Teen Vogue and they're like, we need you here in 20 minutes.
Yeah. You need to be here in 20 minutes.
I was like, fuck you. I was like, you know what? If anyone ever, like, you know what? If I fucking scheduled an interview at 5 o'clock, I base my whole day around that. And then if some fucking asshole at the place called me up and said, you have to be here in 20 minutes, I'd be like, not worth my fucking time. Go fucking pound sand.
Right? Like, come on.
You. That's exactly what I would say.
Because, like, if they're gonna fuck with your time before you're even, like, part of the organization, how are they gonna fuck with your time when you are part of the organization?
Exactly. And I don't,
you know?
I mean, I know this is Teen Vogue. Like, this is the fucking end-all be-all of fucking teen magazines in 2016. I mean, 2006. Because, Jane Magazine's dead right now, right? Jane Magazine's done at this point.
Yeah, Jane's dead.
What else is dead? Teen People is still kicking, I think.
Teen People, 17, and maybe YM? Is 17 even still around?
I have fucking no idea. Like, I never bought one. Like, the only reason like I know these magazines exist because like I had a lot of gal pals like in my day, so like that was just like.
Oh, 17's still around.
Yeah, I think that's like a mainstay. Teen Vogue is still around because they were like leading the resistance like a few years ago against Trump, so I know they're still kicking.
Yeah.
Shout out to them. So I don't know what Teen Vogue's like grasp on like the magazine industry was in 2006. Like, we were young in 2006.
I feel like it was still pretty new. I could be wrong.
Obviously, Vogue is huge. There's a fucking whole song about it, about the magazine.
Yeah.
Coming from my perspective, like, I even remember watching this in 2006, so how old? We were, like, 25 then, I think?
Really 24, 25.
24, 25. Well, I remember watching this when, like, the day it premiered. And her, like, sweating bullets over Teen Vogue. And I just remember thinking, it's fucking...
Oh, Teen Vogue is not a magazine anymore.
It's a website, though, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, but I just remember thinking, it's Teen Vogue. Like, this ain't, like, the end-all, be-all. There's 7 million other opportunities for a rich white broad like you in fucking
right?
LA in 2006. Like, there's so many more things. I'm like, Teen Vogue is probably, like, middle tier to me. Because I don't know what they're... Like, what is it? Because, like, I feel like 17 is higher on the echelon of magazines. I don't know. I
just looked it up. Teen Vogue's first issue was in January 2003.
Okay.
So it hasn't even been around for that long at this point. So it's not like... It's not... mean, we were teenagers in the 90s, and I had Sassy, I had 17, YM.
Jane, did you have Jane? Were you a Jane reader?
Jane, yeah, a little bit.
Yeah, Jane was a little more sexier, right?
Well, the woman who started Jane started Sassy, but then she got kicked out of Sassy.
Oh, I didn't know that.
And the guy who dated Norman in season 1 of Real World actually became the editor of Sassy.
A gay man ran Sassy magazine?
Yeah.
I love it. I fucking love it.
Yeah.
Whoever that is, I stand you. I can't remember. I don't remember.
Yeah, so,
tweet us at Fairy Podcast if you listening to this.
I think he, later had, a talk show or something. But yeah, so, I just feel like Vogue can be very pretentious.
Here's my memory of Vogue magazine. It's not a magazine I went to the store and bought. It's not a magazine I went to the store and looked at. But if I was at a doctor's office and someone was on the cover that intrigued me, I would maybe flip to that section of the magazine, and that's it.
Mm-hmm.
That's my experience with Vogue. I don't know what your experience with Vogue is.
It's the kind of thing you flip through just to look at the pictures. You don't really read the articles.
Yeah, is there articles? I don't even know.
But I'm also not a fashionista kind of person. I'm just God, where would you ever wear this outfit? You look at it and you're nobody's gonna wear that outfit on a regular, on a normal day.
Even Sex and the City, the TV series, kind of got out there with the fashion too. Because I'm no one would ever wear that anywhere.
Especially with Carrie.
Yeah, no, you know what? It's great. It looks great on you, Sarah Jessica Parker. It looks fabulous. But, you know what? If fucking Aiden calls you up on a Thursday at 9:33 p.m. and say, hey, you want to go get a bite to eat? You're not going to fucking throw that on. You're going to just get you know what? Aiden's not going to take you to the most, exclusive club in New York City. He's going to take you to the fucking, I don't know, P.F. Chang's.
He's going to take you to, the pizzeria down the block. You're going to go get a slice of pizza. And so you might as well just be in your ridiculously expensive jeans.
Yeah, throw on some Calvins.
I mean, because Carrie would never order Amazon essential clothing.
I want Pandemic, a year into Pandemic, Carrie Bradshaw, and the writing jobs ain't fucking like they used to be. People aren't interested in her anymore. I want to see her just like me on a Thursday night looking for a belt, and you just oh, all right, this Amazon Essentials belt is $7.75. I get 5 fucking Amazon points for this. All right, I'm gonna buy it. Is it gonna match my, I don't know, my Amazon Essential cardigan shawl? I don't know, but we'll take a gamble. We'll take a gamble. I love it. All right, so Elsie freaks out because Teen Vogue calls her, and I'm you have to be here in 20 minutes. And she's I'll get here when I can. She hangs up the phone. She's I gotta get ready. She runs into the bathroom. She's doing her fucking hair and makeup. Heidi's digging through, she must have just dumped out her luggage on the floor. There's just a pile of clothes.
Yeah, she had to have just trying to find something. Because she's in her torn jeans and white tank top. This is not what she would think is stylish. She probably could have gone in, dressed that way, and done fine.
I feel this is Elsie's going to Starbucks attire. This ain't her trying to land an internship at Teen Vogue attire. They don't have an iron, so they have to use the hair straightener to straighten the clothes. And Heidi's I don't know if that's safe. And she's well, if it could straighten my hair, it could straighten this mini skirt. And it worked. You know what? She looks great. You know what? For her getting ready, I guess in 20 minutes, she looks great. She's definitely an LA 10 right here, right now, walking down the fucking street.
Yes, I agree.
She probably walked out of the Hillside Villas complex. She probably walked construction workers, cab drivers, other people. They just turned their head when she was walking there. I don't know how she got there. Well, I guess in a convertible. But So she drives to the Teen Vogue headquarters, the West Coast headquarters. Does she go right to Lisa Love, or does she talk to Blaine first? I can't remember what.
No. She talks to Lisa.
Yeah. Ugh.
Lisa interviews her, but Lisa takes a call before she starts answering Lauren's questions, and Lisa's writing notes about whatever is important. And then she asks Lauren questions. And Lauren, I do this myself, but it was really bad because was every other word out of Lauren's mouth.
It was. And you know what? I do it too. And we're the LC generation. We are LC. You know what? Maybe we were raised on shows like My So-Called Life and the like. So it's just embedded in our vernacular. You talk to people that are younger than us and they don't say it as much. You talk to people that are slightly older than us, they don't do it as much. We're in that weird, awkward bubble of people where is a very important word.
I'll notice that with the interviewers at work. You can kind of tell how old they are by which words they use when their brain is trying to catch up.
As I said, I'm guilty of it too. And we do a podcast. We have to just say words because there's people that are listening to us. And so sometimes if there's a moment of silence or you're just trying to gather your thought and you know the word but you haven't quite grasped it yet, you just throw the word in there. And I will tell you, I don't really notice it, to be honest with you.
I don't either until I listen back. Just why am I saying all the time?
But does it bother you? Because it doesn't really bother me, to be honest with you.
Once in a while, if it's really bad. If it's every other word almost. Of course, here's the thing. We also use in this weird way, too. What are you doing? Not just as a pause.
So I sat down and thought about this one time, and I was thinking, I could cognitively think about it and try to prevent myself from saying it, but then I'm just not being who I am. You know what? If I say a lot, who cares? Who gives a fuck? It doesn't bother me because if I'm in a if you're in the real world and there's a group of people and you're in an actual conversation, you're not listening to a podcast or a TV show or Lauren Conrad's job interview with Lisa Love from Teen Vogue in 2006, it doesn't bother me.
Yeah.
I don't care.
Yeah.
Sometimes the only times it slightly might annoy me is on podcasts, but I've learned to just let it go. And I hope our listeners forgive us for it. You know what? No one's ever complained that we say too much. They just complain that they just hate my voice. So.
Oh, poor Patrick.
I'll just say more. Yeah, I'm over it. I don't give a fuck. All right, so I have a question for you.
Okay.
Well, it's more of me saying a statement than me saying a question to you. I am pretty sure Lisa from the Teen Vogue office, whatever she is with Teen Vogue, is the villain of the story. What are your thoughts?
I haven't. I've only seen this. I think she's just, a boss bitch. And the only reason she's even doing these interviews because MTV is there. Do you think she normally does these interviews?
No. This goes to some kind of underling that is 5 people below her.
It usually goes to Blaine.
Yeah, Blaine, I don't even know what he is. The assistant to Lisa Love? Is her name even Lisa Love? I don't even know. Am I just saying that?
I don't know. I think it is.
I'm gonna Google this just so I don't get we don't get hate from Lisa Love. Oh yeah, she is. Lisa Love is the West Coast director of Vogue and Teen Vogue.
Okay, good deal.
I watched this in 2006. I remember thinking she was just kind of this badass bitch, and I was Amanda Woodward vibe. Just the I'm every woman. She's running a company. She knows what she wants. She got her shit together. But watching this as a man of a certain age, as you always say, I'm just fuck her. She's fucking pitiful. If I ever went to a job interview and she was interviewing me, just the way she was dressed for this interview, by the way.
I am not impressed with the way anybody at Teen Vogue dressed, except for the woman from New York.
Yes. You know what? I love the woman from New York.
She was the only one I was like, okay, yeah, you've got something going on here.
Yeah.
The others, I was just like, what did you do?
Yeah. Flash forward a little bit. The woman from New York, I don't know what she does, but I hope she is in like a CEO position right now because she's the only one who had fashion sense. Blaine shows up wearing like a band t-shirt, like just fucking graphic tee and jeans. By the way, can we just throw that out there? Like that's like his attire, like in the office.
Ugh.
And then Olivia, the fashion stylist at Teen Vogue, who we'll meet in a few minutes. Spoiler alert: she's wearing like a pink male button, like a man blouse button up. She's got like a Natalie Portman 2006 pixie haircut, and she's wearing like those kind of like those pants that you would see like a car salesman in the 70s wear.
Yeah, it was not good.
Like this plaid polyester type, and she was shunning our faves.
Okay, if Clinton and Stacy from What Not to Wear got their hands on those people from Teen Vogue, they would obliterate their whole wardrobe.
Let's cut back to our hero's job interview because you know what? She was nervous. I actually thought she did well. I don't know what your impression of it is.
She did okay.
I wouldn't hire her, but I'd maybe put her in like the...
I wouldn't have hired her either.
I'd put her in like the maybe if everyone else says no list. If my top 5 picks say no.
She's like on the wait list for internships.
I also feel that Lisa Love's questions were kind of condescending too.
But like the whole thing just felt awkward.
Alright, so there's the whole thing. It's just like, you know what? A job interview is a two-way street. So it's like you're interviewing for the job and you're also interviewing to see if you want to work there.
Yeah.
And apparently Teen Vogue is Elsie's dream that she's been dreaming of forever, even though we just learned it's only been around for 3 years.
To be fair, that's when Elsie was like 16, 15 when Teen Vogue first came out. That is forever.
You don't necessarily have to go into the magazine industry. There's other internships you can do. You're an LA girl. You're the daughter of a whatever your dad does. I have no idea. Something. Architect. You know what? He works for the Newport Group with Caleb. Fucking. Why can't I think of Caleb's last name? Kiki's dad.
Moving on.
There's more experiences for you. This is just like your first interview in like the pool of interviews. Like you don't just get your first internship right away. Like I feel like that's not a thing that happens. Like you gotta pound sand for a little while. You gotta fucking eat ramen noodles for a couple of weeks. You gotta feel the burn of LA. You gotta feel I don't know, maybe you gotta like get a crappy retail job at like Coach and sell fucking purses for a couple of nights a week.
Right?
Yeah.
Like, you don't get the first okay, why is she moving to LA? Well, okay, she's not moving to LA just for the internship. She's moving to start school at the Fashion Institute of Merchandise and Design, or Design and Merchandise, whatever it is.
I believe it's FIDM, but I could be wrong. I don't really care. I don't care. Yeah. I'm sure you don't either.
But so she's coming to town to go to a new college because she dropped out of the Fashion Institute to chase after Steven or something. I don't even know.
Yeah, what the... Alright, hold on. Would you drop out of college, though, to chase after Steven?
No.
He's got that cool, skinny, built look that was really hot in, 2004.
Yeah, but he's gonna run off to North Carolina to be on the OC... Or not the OC, One Tree Hill.
Oh, he was on One Tree Hill?
Yes.
I never... You know what? We need to do a Where Are They Now segment, like an addendum.
Oh my god.
Maybe for the Patreon listeners, like a special, cast breakdown.
He went on to the OC. He played the character Chase. He was this virginal guy that I think,
okay.
Hillary Burton, was interested in. But then he was yeah, no. And he maybe had, a flirtation with Brooke for a while. And then he was a background character. He was somebody who popped up again in like the last couple seasons. He was like definitely major in the last season. And one of my favorite GIFs has him in it with the guy who played Chris Keller.
All right, we'll put it on the very podcast when this episode drops. We'll post the GIF of Stephen Coletti. I found out Where Is He Now picture. You know what? I think he has held on to his looks. He's the rare commodity. So shout out to Stephen Coletti. If you're listening to this, tell us what it was like to be in a love triangle with Elsie and Casey. All right, so Elsie walks out of the job interview. She's like feeling okay, but feeling kind of like I don't know. She was kind of a fucking villain. She was kind of a fucking monster, but not in a fun like Devil Wears Prada kind of way, but in like a I don't think I like her kind of way.
It was weird. It was awkward. It was just one of those things. You could tell she doesn't normally interview the interns, and she was doing this just for the camera. She probably did the same thing with Whitney. They just didn't show Whitney's interview. Because Whitney did interview the same day.
If they actually went through with it, she probably wasn't as condescending to Whitney, I'm going to say.
Probably not.
No, but because they were on camera, and MTV was there, and all the grips and stuff, she's like, I gotta be the fucking girl boss right now.
Well, like, they interviewed Whitney in front of the cameras, too. The cameras were already following Whitney around. Whitney did not know that she was on Lauren's spinoff until she saw Lauren in the Vogue offices that day.
Oh. So what did she... Alright, so when she was walking around with a camera falling around her, what did she think was going on?
She was cast to be the other intern. She thought it was just going to be a show about, like, Teen Vogue interns.
I don't think we announced this on the podcast yet. I think we talked about it pre-pod.
Yeah.
But Whitney Port is my favorite Hills character ever. She's the best.
From what I have seen and what I have seen of what she has done since The Hills, her and Lauren are probably the most down-to-earth, too.
You know what? Yeah, Elsie and Whitney are my favorite. I will follow the two of them, whatever they do. I will support 100%. Forever. If Lauren Conrad wants to write YA novels, I might not read them, but I will listen to Kat Halstead, the author, tell me like descriptions of the books, because she's read all 6 of them, I think you said, right?
So I didn't watch The Hills, but I read all 6 of Lauren's books for YA series, and I've through her podcast that she had for a while.
And it's great. It was great.
Called Asking for a Friend. Next time I am in need of some skincare, I was going to check out her brand, see how I feel about her stuff. And I definitely have, like, jewelry and clothing from, like, her fashion line.
Yeah, she's great. I think does she have a store, or is that Kristen? I always confuse, like, sometimes I mix up their worlds together.
Kristen had a store, I think. Lauren had, like, a line in Kohl's.
Okay. Yeah.
And stuff.
Yeah, but I think Kohl's fired all their, like, celebrity endorsements, though. They got rid of them all. Fuck you, Kohl's.
I haven't been inside of Kohl's in a long time.
Whitney wrote a book, right?
Whitney has done some stuff, too. She has her own fashion line. She's got her little YouTube channel and stuff that she's doing with her husband.
Yeah, she has a whole, like, playlist. It's her reacting to The Hills. It's great. I watched excerpts. I haven't watched the whole thing. You watched, like, a whole episode of it, right?
Yeah, I watched, like, a whole episode, and I was just like, she is so normal. It's kind of nice. Because, you know, you watch some of those Hollywood vloggers, the ones who maybe they started a vlog channel in college and they moved out to Hollywood, and they all go back batshit crazy. There's all something, like, not right with them.
Do you know who's a perfect example of this is Elena from Big Brother 19?
Oh my god.
Like, we had high hopes for her. We loved her. And she was kind of like a podcaster, kind of like a vlogger. And we're like, oh my god, we can relate. And then she, like, went into Big Brother and she thought she was, like, the end-all be-all. And then she went batshit crazy.
She was like the sidekick, like the once-a-week sidekick on a morning radio show.
Kid Craddock in, like, Dallas, Texas, or somewhere, Austin, or wherever the fuck she is from.
Yeah.
The beauty of Whitney Port is that she just kind of, she made the best of her experience on the Hills, MTV gave her own spin-off, The City, which was only on for 2 seasons. It wasn't a big hit. It was just like, she's just such a normal, down-to-earth person. It's really hard to like create drama around her because I feel like she doesn't get involved in it as heavily as LC might.
No.
But you know what? I think without Heidi, though, The Hills would kind of be like a tame show, though. I think like Heidi elevated a lot of the drama.
Oh yeah, if you didn't have Heidi stirring the pot, that's all Heidi does, is stir the pot. Like, I know way more about this woman than I should for somebody who has never watched this show because she was freaking everywhere for a decade.
I will tell you.
With her psychotic husband, Spencer.
I will tell you, when Heidi and Spencer went on Big Brother UK, they were my favorite house guests there. They did great. And I had listened to at least like 20 episodes of the Spidey podcast.
Dear God.
And as much as I think that Heidi is a hot mess, I still appreciate her for what she brought us.
I mean, I'll give her this. She has some hustle. It's a lazy hustle.
And we're going to get into it, because you want to go to the FIDM interview?
Yeah, okay, this is like, I don't understand what the point of this was. But Heidi and Lauren had to go to the fashion school and have interviews about, like, what they wanted to do.
Is that a thing that happens?
I don't know. I didn't understand it. It just...
Was this just for TV? I feel like it was just for TV.
I think it was just for TV because it's registration day, supposedly, and Lauren and Heidi are the only girls there.
You literally just fill out a piece of paper or a pamphlet, or you go online and type in your info, you send it in, throw some transcripts in there.
Yeah, I think now it's all online, Patrick. I think it's all online now.
Well, I'm in nursing school now, so I know that you do it all online now. You get a letter of recommendation. You throw in your, you order your transcripts through Parchment, and it's all like done behind the scenes. I mean, I'm sure for like certain things, like if you went to like med school, you'd probably go interview with a panel. If you're going to be a physician assistant or maybe like a nurse practitioner, you'd go interview with a panel. But I mean, like maybe, I don't know, like how, I don't know what FIDM's grasp on the fucking industry is. I feel like there might be like a few lines of career paths that might have some kind of interview process, but I don't know if FIDM is, but I don't know. LA is weird though, so who knows? It could be. This could be norm.
Yeah,
like this could be the norm. We don't know. And like you gotta, yeah, as you said, LC and Heidi, they like meet in this like giant like room. It's like a giant waiting room. It almost kind of looks like, I kind of felt like they were in like a weird, I want to say like a library maybe.
It's just so weird.
Auditorium type room. And it's like only the two of them. And this woman comes out. I guess she's the recruiter. She's supposed to be the face of this fashion school. And I feel like she's dressed like a grandfather in 1978.
Yes. These fashionable people were not it. They were just the whole time. I'm just like, no.
It's just, so we get this like weird juxtaposition where we kind of like see like Lauren's answers and then like Heidi's answers to questions. So like Lauren's like, she's like rehearsed this interview. I feel like she knows what to say. Maybe she's like Googled it.
Yeah.
The interviewer is impressed. She's like, "Oh my god, I love you. You're great. Like you might be FIDM material." And then she like asks Heidi the same questions, and Heidi's like, "Oh, I did horrible in high school. Like high school is only about like hanging out and getting high behind the bleachers."
Yeah.
And then she's like, "Well, what are your goals?" And she's like, "Oh, I don't have any." And like, oh. She's like, well, like, what do you hope to accomplish? And she's like, maybe someday I'll be, like, good in PR. And she's like, okay, like, have you ever thought about, like, maybe working in retail? And she's like, oh, you mean, like, working on the sales floor? And she's like, yeah. And she's like, oh, no, that's not for me. Just let me skip the line. And the lady's like, well, like working in PR, like the level that you're thinking of, that takes like 4 to 5 years worth of experience. And she's like, oh, I don't have time for that. Let me just hop all those lines.
I just want to state that there is no like PR classes, like major at the FDIM. I'm looking at their website right now, and it's all apparel based. They're or beauty business based.
I'm going to throw out a few things here. I appreciate Heidi for her honesty in the interview. Damn you, this stupid fucking old ass white lady who's going to tell me that I have to like go through this whole like secession whatever to get to that point. No, you know what? Like, I feel like you could get to that point right away, because I feel like what Heidi wanted to do, she could have done.
Yeah.
She can convince you, I feel like. And she's got like a kind of a good personality in a way. Like she might like win you over in some weird fashion. Like she won Elsie over somehow.
I just think this is the wrong school for Heidi.
I think the only reason she did it, though, was because of Elsie. Spoiler alert.
I think so.
Spoiler alert, she drops out and she gets a job at a PR firm.
Okay.
And she ends up doing okay. And she ends up doing okay at it. She kind of like muscles her way to the top. Like they like hire her as like a desk girl to like answer the phones, and she's like, "No, I want to work the parties." And she like muscles her way to the top, and it's great. So, you know what? This is a great show, I think, for young women in 1996, 2006. 2006. Because it just made them be like, hey, you know what? Fuck this bureaucracy that says, like, you have to, like, do all these steps to get where you want to be.
Yeah.
No, just fucking do it. Just fucking do it. So shout out to Heidi.
Yeah, I was just listening to her interview, and I'm like, this is not the school for you. And you could tell the recruiter's like, why are you here?
You know what? Lauren, despite being new to LA, she kind of like already grabbed the first rung of the ladder. And Heidi, she's kind of similar to Lauren. She's young, she's beautiful, but she's like one face in a million faces. There's just a million people that are similar to her. Mm-hmm. And she doesn't have a way to distinguish herself from anyone else in the city. But hold on, her roommate, her new best friend, Lauren Conrad, just got the job at the Teen Vogue internship. Spoiler, the phone rings and it's Blaine, and he's like being weird on the phone.
A lot of these conversations are super awkward because they are set up to have a specific outcome. Like, the people who are in these conversations are getting, like, messages from producers on, like, another phone of what they need to be saying.
Like an earpiece?
Yeah, like, there might be an earpiece, or it might be, like, our black... Because that comes up in Lauren's books, is that they would, like, they'd have, like, their actual cell phone, and then they'd have, like, a BlackBerry from production that would, like, where they'd be getting messages, what to say, what to do, how to interact with each other.
So you told me about this pre-podcast. So I never read this book. So Lauren Conrad wrote a book about her experience on the hills?
Kind of, yeah. It's a fiction book, but it is about 4 young women who end up on a reality show. And there's, like, Sweet Jade, and there's batshit crazy Scarlet, and, like...
So Scarlet is Heidi? Scarlet is Heidi?
100% Heidi. Like, I picture... when I was reading it, I 100% pictured Heidi.
I love it.
The other characters are not as, like, they're little, like, there's one, like, a rocker chick kind of thing, and...
Well, maybe you need to watch more of The Hills to know who...
I don't know. I just want to reread the books. I gotta find it.
Maybe we'll do it for a book club.
Maybe. So, I am excited about our next
Maybe.
But...
I am too.
In the book, they have, because this is pre-smartphones, they have Blackberries that the production staff is, like, sending them messages, like, no, throw the drink in her face, or crap like that, just, like, amping up everything. Telling them how to react to a situation. Be like, oh no, say this.
That's going to be very conflicting.
And you can see it in these really awkward.
Elsie is 19. I guess Heidi is probably the same age, 19, 20, 18-ish.
Mm-hmm.
They just kind of... like stumbled into this world. It's I don't know what Lauren Conrad's like dreams and aspirations were before Laguna Beach. Like I don't know if she like set up to be an actress. I don't know what. But she ended up on that show.
She wanted to be in the fashion industry.
Not necessarily like on camera all the time. She was going to be like a Jade Mancini type. Just kind of designing clothes maybe. Maybe in marketing, like who knows? Like, but she never like intended to be like on a TV series.
Yeah.
She was in high school one day. Her boyfriend, or maybe her boyfriend, Stephen Coletti, just kind of got cast on a show. She got kind of thrown into this world. People liked her. People liked her look. So they kept her. MTV was like, hey, we want to do more with you. Could you just imagine just, one day you're just like 16 years old, 17 maybe, I don't know, thrown into the show. And then like now MTV's like, hey, we want to do like our own spin-off of this show where you're the focal point. You're 19. Like, you don't have your shit together at 19.
Not at all.
Not at all. And I know this is a semi-scripted show, but they did kind of like manipulate reality here, though, too. Like, so she did actually have an internship at Teen Vogue.
Yes. They did she and Whitney actually did intern stuff. It wasn't like they just showed up to film and then ran off. They actually did the work.
But could you just imagine, though, just being 19 years old, you're going to be on a TV series that's probably going to be watched by, like, millions of people. You're excited about this internship because, like, at this point, she probably just wants the internship. Like, she doesn't care about the TV show.
The TV show is a means to get the internship.
Yeah, and it's like, all right, you know what? I'll just fucking do it. Whatever. Who cares? And, like, maybe they're, like, filming things, but it's like, maybe it's boring. It's not exciting. And they're like, hey, you know what? Why don't you sneak your friends into the party? So, could you just imagine just being 19 years old and getting these, like, messages on your BlackBerry of all things, like, telling you to, like, act like this way. So it's gonna be tough.
Okay, Whitney, let these people in that you don't know, but they say they're Lauren's friends.
And we'll get there in a minute, because we'll get there in a minute.
Oh my god,
So, before we get there, Lauren gets hired to Teen Vogue. It's her first day. She shows up, and we see this other girl walk in. Blonde hair, equally as beautiful as her. And they're like, they do this like really cool camera angle where you see, it's like Lauren on one side, Whitney on the other side. There's like a planter in between them, and they keep looking at each other, but they don't say hi or anything.
In real life, they did, but they cut it out.
Okay, it reminded me of my like first day of nursing school anxiety, where you walk in and there's like all these people, and like you just don't say hi to people because you're nervous, and it's kind of like a competition because they accept all these people, but it's gonna get whittled down. Only the best survive kind of atmosphere. So like I saw it when they did that like weird. They did that cool camera angle, but they probably didn't say hi to each other. But then they get like called in. I think they Blaine like comes out and he's like wearing like a fucking Def Leppard t-shirt or something.
Well, they get taken to their little office and they're like sitting there all nervous and they're like, oh my god. And then Blaine comes in with the stylist bitch.
Yeah, all right. Their office is like a hallway.
It's like a closet.
Yeah, their office is just like a closet, like a hallway. It's just like fold out like beer pong tables. Mm-hmm. Like a really cool looking like iMac on top of it. They're like sitting there. There's a Rolodex. There's a giant fucking Rolodex on Whitney's desk.
Yeah.
And Elsie's like, I'm afraid to touch the computer because like I don't know like what's gonna happen if I touch will I get fired for like touching something I'm not supposed to? And they're like laughing about that. And like Lauren accidentally like hits a button on the keyboard and like it starts the computer and it makes that like Mac startup sound. And like Whitney's like, oh my god, you just got fired, didn't you? And they're like, I hope not. And then Blaine comes in. And he's like, hey, I'm Blaine. I'm the whatever the fuck I do. I'm going to introduce you to our stylist. Her name is Olivia. Fuck her. Like, all I gotta say is...
Listen, stylist lady from this episode, no. Clinton and Stacy and Marcellus would tell you to fuck off. Like, and that was an ugly belt she put on.
Yeah, they do this whole, like, hey, you're gonna go meet Lisa Love on your first day of your internship. You have to look, like, top notch. Wear this fucking crusty-ass denim jacket, and Whitney, throw on this fucking, like, dirty, like, Old Navy fucking belt.
Right? Oh my god.
I thought they both looked great. As you said, Elsie had, like, a little bit of cleavage showing, but it's a magazine.
Yeah, I would have given her maybe just, like, a little something. Like, yeah, like a sweater or something. Not a seafoam colored jean jacket.
Oh, it was fucking awful.
And Whitney's whole outfit was cute. I'm sorry. It might have been a little too matchy, but it was cute. She had, like, the perfect belt to go with that dress and those boots.
Yeah, the belt they put on her made it look worse. And I will tell you, Whitney Port was the only person in this episode that was wearing something that you could probably wear today and look okay. She was timeless. Whitney Port is timeless. All right, so they then get called into Lisa Love's office, and she's just kind of like super condescending. Like, I feel like, all right, you got the internship, and you probably go to like HR, and you probably have like the HR meeting. You would never go to like Lisa Love's office.
You would never go to, like, your editor-in-chief office.
So you get this whole thing, and they're like telling them you have to be in your best behavior. You're representing Teen Vogue. Teen Vogue is like the most, I guess they're the most appreciated magazine in the teen like fashion industry. I don't know. It was like wildly confusing. This is a weird conversation. This just made me hate Lisa Love. I just like, ugh.
It's just that pretentious Vogue attitude.
Yeah, she's like, you don't understand. We've been around for decades. If you act horrible, you just disrespect the magazine. And I'm just like, you know what? I don't know if they're getting paid or not. I don't know what their situation is, but I'm like, they're fucking interns. You know what?
Yeah.
In reality, they're fetching coffee, but because they're like on a TV show, they're doing like cool things.
Yeah.
We cut to them like they're like back at the office, and we find out there's going to be like a upcoming party, and there's like 500 guests they got to invite, so they got to handwrite every invitation and like lick the envelopes. This is my favorite part of the episode. Lauren makes a Seinfeld reference to Whitney. Like, hey, do you remember the bald guy on Seinfeld? And the bald guy's fiance died from licking too many envelopes?
Oh my god.
And Whitney just like turns around and is like, I don't know what the fuck you're talking about.
Oh my god. Whitney really is that.
Queen Lauren Conrad for knowing that reference.
Yes, I love that. I love a good Seinfeld reference.
And then it kind of like cuts to and like one of the other, like is it the New York editor that comes in now or whatever you're talking about earlier?
Yeah, it's okay. So like the New York editor comes in and she's like, "This is like the Hollywood edition. This is like my issue of the magazine for the year. As far as I'm concerned, it's the biggest issue of the year. And we have the party tomorrow night, and you need to get these invitations out today." Like, but she's the only one whose style was like something. It wasn't like this weird boxy capsule type.
They get the invitations out, I guess, and Lisa then calls them back in the office. They find out that they're going to be kind of like working the party. She kind of reads like the riot act, like, hey, like, you can't sit down, you can't talk to the guests.
No sneaking your friends in, yada, yada, yada.
What happens? Heidi finds out that she's going to be working at the party, so she, like, gathers up her gang. She calls, like, Audrina up. So Audrina is, like...
She's just some girl they met in the building. She's just a girl Heidi met in the building, and they decided to cast on the show.
But she's a thing, though. She becomes a thing. She becomes a part of the show. She gets, like, a VH1 show at some point, I think.
I know nothing about this woman.
I dislike Audrina more than Heidi.
I don't understand what she does. She was apparently on Dancing with the Stars at one point.
She is on Hill's New Beginnings. They're all on it except for LC.
Yeah.
So LC at this party gets assigned the job. I guess there's a VIP area. It's like 3 couches and like a coffee table.
Yeah, and nobody's supposed to sit here. Nobody until Blaine tells her so.
I guess somebody like hot is showing up later. I don't know who. Like we're not privy to that info.
Obviously, Chad Michael Murray.
Probably. So that's LC's job. Whitney is like working the door with Blaine. And they're just like, they have these cool like earpieces and microphones. And apparently they can only communicate with each other. Nobody else can hear them, which I thought was kind of weird.
Yeah, I thought those were too, and I refuse to believe that's like how this works. Because I have used headpieces like this in my job before the virus. We could have like 100 people in the building working.
Yeah, and they all hear it, right?
Well, because we would have the earpieces, so we wouldn't, like, the walkies wouldn't be, like, broadcast all over the place. So operations could be like, we need to know why Jake McDonald got that survey done in 10 minutes when it's a 30-minute survey.
At one of the hospitals I used to work at, we had kind of like a broadcast system like that too, like the earpiece and a microphone. So it could be like, everyone go to room 5 right now, and like we'd run there. So it exists, but I refuse to believe it was only like a 2-person communication between the interns, only the interns.
Yeah, there's no way. There had to be somebody higher up who heard Lauren ask Whitney to let her friends in, because Heidi could not take no for an answer. Yeah, it's like Heidi, Audrina, Heidi's boyfriend at the time, and like some other dude.
Yeah, Brian, I think was his name.
They all show up, try to get up.
They pop up in more episodes.
It was so awkward.
Lauren, like, she's like, hey, Lauren to Whitney. But he's like, yeah? She's like, hey, my friends might show up. Can you just, like, slide them in? And this is the part that pissed me off. So she, like, slides them in. And, like, Lauren only has, like, one job. Like, all Lauren had to say was, like, hey, can you guys please not sit at this fucking, like, table set? Just go, like, over there in the corner.
Right?
But they all just fucking sit, like, where she is. And then they, like, start, like, Heidi and her boyfriend at the time are, like, arguing with each other. And there's, like, a fight. And so, like, Blaine comes over. Because, like, guests are now complaining. Like, we see Nicole Richie come in. We see fucking Paris Hilton come in. I think those are the 2 celebrities that we see walk through the fucking, what's it called? The step and repeat?
Yeah, the step and repeat.
So like, we see them come through. So like, there's like high class celebrities there. Blaine, Blaine tried to be like a good guy, and he's like, hey, this is the VIP area. These aren't VIP people. I don't know who the fuck these people are. They're fucking teenagers on a TV show on MTV.
They're not even like on a show that's aired, so they're still nobody.
Yeah, like, how did nobody know, like, any of this is going on? If you think about it in the grand scheme of things. Like, there's a camera focused on only that section of people. And Paris Hilton and Nicole Richie are walking around. In 2006, they were, like, huge. We're like Simple Life. Yeah, we're like Simple Life era. The cameras, like, would normally be there.
They were everything.
So, how could you ever believe this was real? Is beyond me. Anyway, we eventually get the shot of, like, Lisa Love, and you kind of, like, see, like, her, she does, like, a side-eye, like, she just, for the first time, just realized what was going on, and she walks over to our girl, Elsie, and she's like, who are these people? She's like, oh, they're my friends, like, they mean well, blah, blah, blah. She's like, you know what, whatever, like, we're at a party, we'll talk.
We're going to talk about this Monday.
Which is a cool thing to do as a boss. Not like just fucking call you a cunt right there on the scene, but
it's like, get them out of here. We'll talk on Monday.
And that's pretty much the episode. Yeah, that's like, the episode ends there.
Well, yeah. Lauren kicks them out and they're like, why? And she's like, I just got in trouble with my boss. They're like, why? I'm like, because you're not supposed to be here. Like, so I think that technically Heidi and Audrina and the 2 guys or whatever were on the guest list. But, because you don't actually see, like, them, there's a little bit of them and Whitney at the door, but you don't see anybody, like, being like, you can't go in. You know what I mean?
There is a shot of, like, Whitney at the door, and there's, like, it looks like workers there. They clearly would have been like, no. Like, you can't come in.
Yeah.
So I could see
You're not on.
I could see, like, Elsie, like, walking back and, like, writing, like, jotting names down. I also feel like, you know what, Elsie should have been like, hey, like, you can come to the party, but you gotta, like, hang out, like, way over there. Just, like, stay out of view.
Yeah, you gotta, like, not make it obvious that you're not supposed to be here and be, like, on top of it.
And Elsie did, like, a really shitty job at blocking the VIP here.
Obviously, that's where Paris and Nicole were supposed to be sitting and drinking with, like, Lilo. Or is this, like, the height of the Lilo hatred? Firecrotch era.
I feel like we're at, like, Firecrotch era at this point. We're at, what, 2006?
We're, like, on the verge.
Stars Are Blind, I think, just dropped, maybe.
Like, Nicole and Paris are probably not, like, besties anymore.
I feel like we're, like, a whole new era at this point. I feel like that whole, like, early 2000s celebrity for no reason was dying down. Because that's, like, a 2002 to, like, 2004. And then, like, it kind of, like, spilled over into 2005. And The Hills came out on May 31st, 2006. So that was the premiere date. So I feel like it was probably filmed like a year in advance. And it's at like the tail end of that whole atmosphere. Paris Hilton's about to be arrested. Like any day now.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. We're about to get like Paris arrested. And she spends like the day in jail. And then she runs off to Colorado to hide from the press.
Yeah, like we're really close to that. Like we're on the cusp of that. That's like in the atmosphere. It's floating.
Yeah, like, well, this is okay. I figured out. While this is airing, that's all going down. The Lilo arrest, the Paris Hilton arrest, the Nicole Richie arrest. That's all like when this is airing.
No, I think that's 2007. I want to throw this out there. I think it's 2007. I think we're like a year off from it. But we're definitely in like the Paris Hilton. This is Stars is Blind, Paris Hilton. I'm pretty sure. Hold on, let me Google. Stars Are Blind.
Okay, it was 2007 when she was sentenced.
So Stars Are Blind, Paris Hilton's single, and one of my favorite songs of all time, came out in 2006. Around this time. This is when it dropped. So we had kind of like a year of the aftermath of that. Because like critically that song was fucking shunned. It was fucking destroyed. But have you listened to it? It's a fucking great jam. It's.
I have not listened to it in a very long time.
You know what? This is on my playlist. It probably comes up once a week for me. I listen to the song like multiple times a week for the last 15 years of my life. Like I always listen to this song. This is like my Smells Like Teen Spirit. This is like just.
Oh my god!
It's just an amazing.
Patrick, this is embarrassing.
It's not. It's a great fucking song, and it's getting its due now. Like it just got like a weird resurgence for some reason. I was just reading this the other day. Like people are like now like, you know, it's not really a bad song. It's actually okay.
Yeah.
Like I'll tell you, just you know what, just unironically listen to it later on, and you're gonna be like, the melody is great. The lyrics are okay. It's actually a good pop song. It's a great fucking pop song.
I cannot fathom listening to Paris Hilton. And I feel like we have had this conversation before.
We have. It's like episode 4 of the podcast. All right, just pretend it's not a Paris Hilton song. Just pretend it's a song. And you know, I'm going to throw this out there. Out of like all those like in-your-face celebrities, whatever, Paris Hilton is the one I don't mind the most. So I'm like, okay, it's like, you know what? Like, I feel like she had like a marketing thing down. She like did all the right things. She did all the right beats. And I feel like she like corrected her wrongs in the long run.
Okay.
I really enjoy her. I don't know. Like,
I just have never really followed Paris Hilton. I didn't follow Nicole Richie or anything like that really either.
I
So
don't know. Embrace. You know what? But like, I look back and obviously I know it was like just horrible. But looking back at a perspective, I'm like, you know what? It's not that bad compared to like YouTubers today, podcasters. Fucking podcasters are the worst.
oh my god. Okay, like you might have been following the Hilton and Nicole Richie, but I know what's going on with YouTubers today, and I hate myself for it.
And this is going to lead me into asking you the age-old question. On a scale of 1 out of 5 Rolodexes on fucking Whitney Port's desk, how many Rolodexes on Whitney Port's desk would you give this episode? The premiere episode, the very first episode of The Hills. I don't even know if we even said that, did we?
I'm gonna give it a 2.
What?
Yes, I'm gonna give it a 2.
I thought at least a 3.5. At least a 3.5.
I think they could have explained who Heidi was to Lauren a little bit better.
Okay. All right.
I think they could have shown Whitney before the first day of the internship. And I think they could have at least introduced Audrina a little bit better that, hey, she lives here and I started talking to her and she's my new best friend.
All right. On that note, I'm going to give this a 3.5 out of 5. I thought this was a really strong first episode for a MTV series. I mean, we know Elsie, and watching this now, I kind of forget your complaints because, like, I know who Audrina is, I know who Heidi is, and like those were your big complaints, and I'm like, oh, like, I never thought about it from that angle. So I appreciate your input on that. But one thing that I love of the show is that it's very fast paced, so you kind of get to experience a lot of storyline in what aired in like a 30-minute spot.
Well, because really, it's only like 20-something minutes.
Looking back at a lot, I've been watching a lot of things from the 90s and early 2000s. It's a thing that like network TV kind of struggled with, but MTV somehow found a way to like jam-pack shit into like a 30-minute time slot, because Real World episodes were 30 minutes. Road Rules episodes were 30 minutes. Everything was 30 minutes, and they just always found a way to like compress all the shit to 30 minutes, but make it matter. And the fact that we got so much in the first episode of The Hills, I love it. I stand. So it gets a 3.5. I would have given it a 4 if, I don't know, we got more Whitney, maybe.
The only person who has less of presence in this is Audrina.
Well, Audrina slowly but surely ends up becoming a character on the show.
Yeah.
It's kind of like sometimes like it happens on like the Real World. Like you never know like when a person's going to become a character. Even like Big Brother. Like you never know when they always have like they kind of like ignore a person on the show for so long, but then they end up becoming a character like halfway through.
Yeah, like Andy.
Yeah. It's like they don't know what to do with people sometimes.
Like, they ignored Andy for like most of Big Brother 15, and then, oh shit, he's the winner. We better show you how he did this.
Yeah. So, like, you never know what's going to happen. And, like, the cameras didn't focus on that person all the time.
I just, like,
okay,
I don't know what
right.
she's just there.
Makes sense. All right. I'm excited for next week. Speaking of batshit crazy, we're going to go, like, the baddest shit crazy next week. Because what is the worst possible thing that could ever happen to a television character? Like, I guess dying is horrible, but just underneath that, like,
sexual assault?
Yes, but something that involves mysterious circumstances.
Oh, right. Oh, shit. Yeah. Sorry. I forgot.
All right, let's rephrase this. Sorry.
Like, come on.
All right. Just
I mean, on Days of Our Lives, you die, you're gonna come back.
Just short of dying, what is the worst possible thing that could happen to you on a television series?
Being possessed by the devil.
And the actual devil, or like a demon?
Yes, the actual devil. Why do you keep questioning me on this?
Alright, so next week, we're diving into the whole, like, story arc of Marlena's possession on Days of Our Lives.
Yes.
And we found, like, one specific YouTube segment that covers, like,
Yes.
the meat and bones of it.
Yes.
And I'm excited. I can't wait. I forgot that it was the actual devil. I thought it was just a demon. I was thinking, like, Exorcist level, like Pazuzu.
No, it's the actual devil.
So I'm going to do a lot of prepping for this. I think I'm going to watch a lot of... There's like 100 clips of this whole thing on YouTube. I'm going to watch all of that. I might even watch The Exorcist. Maybe I'll watch that Emily Rose exorcism movie. Maybe I'll watch Stigmata. I'm going to like get into this world. I don't know about you, but...
Oh gosh. Well, don't leave out the possession on soap.
Oh yeah. Can you find that? Oh yeah. I have the DVDs and you have it too.
They were only $20.
Yeah, they're only $20. So I'm excited, and I hope y'all are too. I know sometimes like the soap opera episodes kind of like make people go, but whatever. It's important. It matters to us. Embrace it. Deal with it. .gif. But anyway, where can you follow our Wild Ass Adventures? Can also the author. Where can you follow us?
You can follow us on Twitter at Very Podcast. You can follow us on Tumblr, Facebook, Instagram at A Very Special Podcast. Do not accept imitations. You can find us on YouTube, iTunes, iHeartRadio, Spotify, Stitcher, pretty much any podcast app, agitator, whatever. If you found us, subscribe.
Do it often, do it all the time, do it sideways. Yeah, leave a good review, not a bad review. If you hate our voices, just email us at...
Just tweet us at Very Podcast.
Yeah, just tweet us at Very Podcast. And tell us we suck. And we'll deal with it there. And as always, girl, as always...
Bye!
And watch the highways for Lord Conrad driving to LA to go to her bomb-ass apartment. And, I don't know, dump all her clothes out on the floor.